What is going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana back at you with another YouTube video, and today we absolutely need to talk about part 4 of the Ash versus Leon battle, which no doubt has absolutely broken the internet. The finale of this episode was so epic that they literally had a viewing party in the middle of Shibuya on like the big screen. So as always, I'm gonna give you guys a quick recap and then of course my honest review of what I thought of the final Ash versus Leon episode. If you're new here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so that you're always up to date on the latest Pokemon news, and give this video a thumbs up if you are a Pokemon fan so that we can push it out into the YouTube algorithm so that more Pokemon fans can see it. And if you would like another way to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but all of my other socials so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But let's go ahead and hop into this recap and review. We pick up right where we left off last time with Eternatus hovering over the battlefield right after Pikachu and Charizard's epic clash. But surprisingly, Eternatus isn't mad or upset by the energy or anything. He actually ends up helping. And he actually goes ahead and calms the storm of energy that was created by the clash. He then re-energizes Ash and Leon's Dynamax bands and it's back to the battle. And Leon actually recalls Charizard and switches in Cinderace. And of course, he's got to use his newly recharged Dynamax band and Gigantamax's Cinderace, which is actually the first time we've seen Gigantamax Cinderace in the anime. And likewise, Ash uses his Dynamax band to Gigantamax Pikachu. Now this is the matchup that everyone was actually concerned about, since we already saw Cinderace basically become immune to Pikachu's electric type attacks thanks to its ability Libero. But Leon has Cinderace use a G-Max Fireball, and Ash counters by having Pikachu use G-Max Volt Crash. The attacks collide and it looks like it's almost an even matchup. But we pan over to Cinderace, who is literally fighting for its life, trying to kick away the Max Volt Crash. The energy of the two attacks is so intense that it actually breaks both of the Pokemon's Dynamax. And we're left with the two standing in their base forms after both taking heavy damage. And it almost looks like Cinderace might have a little bit more fight in it, but it goes down, essentially getting one hit KO'd, which I will save my opinions for the end, but it is a little plot armory if I do say so myself. But regardless, since both have already used their Dynamax once again, it is time for the epic base Pikachu versus base Charizard battle that everyone was waiting for. And when I say this is the battle that everyone wanted and expected, I mean everyone. I'm talking we get cameos from Misty, Brock, Serena, May, and Max. Of course, we got Dawn and Chloe on the sidelines, and basically everyone else that Ash has come across during his journeys. But Ash starts off with having Pikachu use Quick Attack, and Leon has Charizard use Ancient Power. Pikachu is a straight thug in this scene and literally just climbs over Ancient Power and directly hits Charizard with Quick Attack. He then jumps up into the air and Ash has him come right down with an Iron Tail. But Leon's like, nah, Charizard's got a tail too, and has Charizard use his tail to counter Pikachu's Iron Tail. After countering Iron Tail, Leon has Charizard use Air Slash, which does make contact and Pikachu definitely takes some damage here. While Pikachu is trying to recover from the attack, Leon actually has Charizard use Fire Blast, but Pikachu manages to stop it just in time with an Electro Web. Ash then has Pikachu use Thunderbolt and Leon has Charizard use Flamethrower, and the two iconic attacks clash, making a huge explosion. As the attacks clear, Ash has Pikachu go straight for Charizard with an Iron Tail, and instead of using an attack or counter, Leon literally just tells Charizard to brace himself. And Charizard takes the Iron Tail like a champ right to the face. But it's almost like it didn't even affect him, because at this point he's staring at Pikachu dead in the face. And Leon takes this opportunity to get a direct hit on Pikachu using Dragon Pulse. Pikachu of course has no way to avoid the attack and takes a direct hit, but Pikachu does not stumble one bit and actually gets even more fired up, and we can see a giant electrical charge around him, which of course fires up Charizard as well, and we can see the same on his end with his flames. Ash has Pikachu use another Quick Attack and it lands a direct hit on Charizard. And since apparently Leon did not learn his lesson the first time, he has Charizard use another Ancient Power, which Pikachu quickly and easily climbs over. Pikachu then starts running across what appears to be the roof of the stadium with Charizard right behind him. The two go at it repeatedly with Air Slashes and Iron Tails, with Pikachu eventually coming down from the roof of the stadium and back to the battlefield using his Iron Tail. The animation of it honestly kind of reminded me of when he used his tail as a ground against Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, where he's literally just standing on his tail, so I thought it was cute. Even if it wasn't supposed to be a direct reference to that battle, it just reminded me of that. But Ash attempts to have Pikachu use another Thunderbolt, but before Pikachu is able to attack, Leon has Charizard use another Fire Blast and Pikachu takes a huge hit. The smoke clears and we see Pikachu hanging on for dear life. He is panting, he is fighting to stay standing. And everyone is on the edge of their seats waiting to see if Pikachu can pull through. We see Pikachu's vision start to blur and eventually fade to black as he collapses. And all we can hear is Ash screaming out after Pikachu. But as Pikachu's unconscious, we can hear Ash's voice replaying the moment that he and Pikachu first first met. Pikachu then starts to hallucinate, dream, I don't know what you want to call it, but he sees all of his old friends. We see the original 3 from Ash's Kanto team, his Charizard, his Squirtle, and his Bulbasaur, and eventually we see the rest of his Kanto Pokemon too, even the ones that he's released, along with every single one of his other teams that he's had over the years, until eventually Pikachu sees his current team rally around him, including Ash, encouraging Pikachu to get up and telling him that he has the ability to beat this Charizard. And this is the exact motivation that Pikachu needed, and he breaks out of his unconscious state with a supercharged Thunderbolt. And this is how you know that the battle is about to get intense. We get the original theme music playing over top, as we see Pikachu supercharged with electricity and Ash turning his hat backwards. And Leon is just as fired up as Ash, and he screams, "It's champion time!" And Charizard gets fired up himself with his own fire energy. And let me tell you, the animation at this point was like movie status. But both souped up Pikachu and souped up Charizard literally go at each other head to head. I'm talking they actually headbutt each other. And even Ash and Leon are fired up and giving it their all and cheering on their respective buddies. And just as we're about to see the climax of the battle, the screen actually fades to black, which was the absolute worst timing for a commercial break in my opinion. But we come back with Pikachu in the Pokemon Center and Ash comforting him. So at this point it honestly looks like they may have lost. But Pikachu thinks back to what actually happened on the battlefield, and we cut right back to where we left off with the 2 butting heads. Pikachu is able to push through Charizard's attack and literally headbutts him dead on. The 2 stumble back, but Pikachu is still standing strong. Meanwhile, we cut over to Charizard, who lets out what looks to be a huge flamethrower, but then stumbles back and finally falls, and is officially KO'd. So our boys did it. Pikachu and Ash are now the official world champions. We then cut back to Ash and Pikachu in the Pokemon Center, with Leon and Charizard visiting the 2. Leon reminisces with Ash about the first battle that he ever lost, which was actually to Sonia. So it looks like ever since his first loss to Sonia, he's been fighting to be the best, and it led him to become the world champion. That is until he met our boy Ash Ketchum, which I watched this without subs, but it looks like he's saying that he's glad that he ran into Ash and that he's gonna keep working hard with Charizard to get even better than he already was, and then he wants a rematch eventually. We then cut over to Leon handing Ash the world champion trophy that is so heavy that he literally needs the rest of his team's help to hold it up. After some celebrations, we end off the episode with Ash waking up in bed and him having a phone call with Go telling him the good news. So where do I even begin with this episode? I'm just gonna start off by saying that this is probably the best episode out of the entire series. The animations were top tier, the battle was crazy, and after 25 years, they finally did Ash some justice, and he is now the world champion. Can you guys believe that? We've waited 25 years for this moment. November 11th, 11/11 is going to go down in history. So personally, I loved the episode. Did I think that Pikachu one-hit KOing Cinderace was a little plot armory? Yes. I definitely did not expect Cinderace to go out that fast. But other than that, I think that this was a very well-deserved victory. I also absolutely love that they made this a true buddy bond battle, and that it was truly Pikachu's bond with Ash and the rest of his teammates that gave him the strength to overcome his most formidable foe to date. There is still a ton of questions and mysteries surrounding what this victory actually means for Ash and the series moving forward, with some people thinking that this is Ash's farewell, and others thinking that this might just be the first step in him actually becoming a true Pokemon master. There is still a couple of episodes left before the Pokemon Journeys anime officially concludes, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how the series actually ends and what this means for our favorite duo. But overall, this episode, like I said, it was absolutely amazing. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I got a little emotional watching it. I'm definitely not a crier, that didn't happen, but it definitely made me feel some type of way. So obviously I give this episode a 10 out of 10. But of course, that's just my opinion, so feel free to leave yours down below in the comments and let me know what you think this means for Ash and Pikachu moving forward. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this recap and review, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye!